This video is brought to you by Squarespace. If you want a website or domain, check out squarespace.com. Hey everybody, and welcome to a new video. Canon has just announced the new Canon R6 Mark III, and lucky me, as a Canon ambassador, I've already taken it to Kenya for a month and taken tens of thousands of photos with it. So this isn't a lab test, but a real-world review of this new camera. Dust, heat, pre-dawn light, and fast-moving animals. I want to see if this camera could stand up to the brutal pace of wildlife photography in challenging conditions. In this video, I'll share the new features of this camera, the photos and video I took with it, and how I set it up for action photography. If you stay till the end, I'll share how finally pre-capture has been improved and how I set it up with a one-button toggle on and off. Finally! My name is Simon D'Entremont, and I'm a professional nature and wildlife photographer living in Eastern Canada. I make weekly videos giving you photo tips or taking you behind the scenes for nature photography. Subscribe if you want to see more. Well, I just got back from Kenya, where I put the R6 Mark III through its paces shooting wildlife for almost a month. And I think I've got a great handle on this camera. The lenses I used on it were the Canon RF 600mm f4, RF 70-200 f2.8, and the RF 24-70 f2.8. Let's go over a few specs for this new camera. This camera has a similar feel to its predecessors like this original R6 that I've been using for years now. But it has a dedicated photo-video switch on the left like the Mark II version, and a power switch on the right next to the mode dial, which is great, by the way, as a place to set ISO or exposure compensation, like I do. The EVF is 3.7 million dots and 0.76 magnification, like its predecessor, the Mark II version. Looks very natural and smooth in the viewfinder. A full-sized HDMI port is also something that everyone has been asking for, replacing the micro HDMI. Well done, Canon. As for the sensor, a great resolution bump from its predecessor. The camera now has a 32 megapixel sensor, which I think is fantastic for a full-frame camera that's less expensive than the premium lines like the R5, R3, and R1. Just what people have been asking for, and a big bump up from the original R6 at 20 megapixels and the R6 Mark II at 24 megapixels. Check out how much I can crop into these wildlife photos of mine and still get lots of detail. The ability to shoot a little wide and crop for composition later is a great asset for many genres like sports, action, and wildlife, where you can't always, what we say, zoom with your feet. The R6 Mark III also has implemented a great new card system like on the higher priced R5 system, CF Express and SD dual card slots. This is a fantastic system allowing you the choice of using your existing SD cards or using CF Express for faster moving of your pics to the memory cards and also more data intensive high resolution video. This allows the camera to shoot the same 12 frames per second in mechanical shutter, even with the bigger file sizes, and a whopping 40 frames per second in RAW with the electronic shutter. The best part is that the buffer depth has also doubled, increasing from the 75 continuous RAW frames on the predecessor R6 Mark II to twice that, 150 RAW frames in a row on the Mark III version. Great for those fast action sequences and giving me plenty of choices to find just the right pose, like in this series. The camera also has Canon's dual pixel CMOS AF2 system, but with a revised algorithm. It's certainly delivered in the field with great subject detection and super sticky in moving subjects or with lots of grass or other challenging things in the way. Now for image quality, note that the photos I'll be showing you are JPEGs, as Lightroom can't decode the RAWs yet. I set the picture profile to auto, just like you'd get it straight out of the box. Now look at these pics, they look great. Lots of detail and great colors. Let's have a deeper peek into some high ISO shots for low light performance in particular. Note that these would be processed in camera with noise reduction, but if they manage the noise and still have this much detail, that's a winning combination. Here's a lion at ISO 6400, straight out of camera, lots of detail and nice smooth background. And a leopard at ISO 12800, after sunset, in the shade of some bushes. At 100% zoom, lots of good detail, but with a simple use of a sharpening mask and a little noise reduction, looks great and detailed, especially when you back up to 50% zoom, which is as close as anyone will look at your photo. And finally, ISO 25600. This hippo was shot at 1/50th of a second, way after sunset in super dark conditions. Lots of detail, and with a wee bit of noise reduction, looks really good. To get a hint as to what raw files might deliver, here are some shots I took at home with my little owl buddy. Here's the JPEG, and here's a raw to HEIF conversion done in camera, giving me a 10-bit file versus the 8-bit JPEG. The HEIF file looks less sharp compared to the JPEG, as that has sharpening applied in camera, but also looks a bit cleaner. A quick run through third-party software like Topaz Denoise, and voila, tons of detail and very clean in the darker background at the same time. And this is ISO 25600. Here it is again with the processed HEIF file and the JPEG shot at the same settings. The HEIF file looks cleaner, sharper, and better highlight recovery than the JPEG. I guess what I'm saying here is that once we open up these raw files, we'll get even better performance than what I'm showing you here with JPEGs. I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video, Squarespace. I built my own website using Squarespace and it was a breeze. A website is just a great way to have a professional place online where you can show off your work, your service, or your personal brand. Social media are often showing you or your work in short clips or photos or thumbnails, and it makes it really difficult to monetize, as they may not want links to external sites. A website is a permanent home for you and your work and your brand, presented in galleries or on pages designed by you that show them off at their best. Even though they have great templates, like ones for photography, for example, the place to go now is to use their new design intelligence feature, using both Squarespace's experience and cutting-edge AI, helping you to tailor your own website to your own specific needs. A website is also a great way to monetize your work by setting up an online store using Squarespace payments. You can take credit card or PayPal from all over the world, and now with new added features like ClearPay and Afterpay. Go to squarespace.com to sign up for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Simon for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Even more critical than the sensor for me as a wildlife photographer is the autofocus. Hitting the shutter button is worthless if I don't have focus, and I'm happy to say that this camera is nailing it. Not that even the original R6 wasn't great, it was, especially at birds, but I did find that the eye detection on mammals wasn't always spot on. For elephants, for example, finding that eye, which is just a small spot in the folds of the skin, was quite tough. But the R6 Mark III makes a huge improvement there, and the subject detection was great even on tricky mammals like elephants. Here's some footage showing the subject and eye detection at work. When it can't find the eye, it does a great job on picking the head or the body, like in these examples here. It does a great job even in heavily backlit situations like this, which is a challenge for many cameras. The way I set up my Canon cameras for wildlife is by using two back buttons. Of course, you have to put your camera in AI servo for it to track subjects when you fire in bursts, but I first disable the shutter from the shutter button, only setting it to start metering. Then the AF on I set to subject and eye detection, but sometimes shooting through grass or branches, it doesn't lock onto the eye easily. That's why I set the star button to the center 5 focus points, using the register recall shooting function icon. So first I try eye detection, but if that fails, like for these lion cubs, I use the star button to get through the grass and the branches, then once refocused on the subject's head, then hit the AF on button to lock onto the eye. This works every time. Using the great autofocus, I was able to get lots of great shots of moving subjects. Usually I just make sure I have enough shutter speed and just point and shoot. Now you may be wondering about battery life. Using the new LP E6P, the battery life was outstanding. Take a look at the screenshot from the back of my camera while in Kenya. 4,300 shots and still 67% of the battery remaining. That's well over 10,000 shots on a full battery. Now the CPA rating will be much lower as it shoots a shot every 30 seconds and uses flash on some shots, for example. I was shooting fast bursts, no flash, and I had airplane mode on to preserve battery life, which I always do in the field. But you can see by this that you can last a long time on one battery. I know not everyone will shoot video with this camera, but you should give it a try as this is a great video camera with some cool new features. First, waveforms, which people have been asking for ages. LUT file support, C-Log 3, C-Log 2, and BT709. There are also various 8 and 10-bit formats to choose from too. A cool new feature is a slow and fast motion setting on the mode dial. Basically, you set your playback rate and your record rate in frames per second, and it plays back in what you outlined. This camera has a great pre-record feature, like pre-capture in photos, which starts the recording seconds before you hit the shutter by temporarily storing footage in the internal memory. It shoots 7K 60 raw light, 7K 30 in open gate, and 4K 30 oversampled from 7K. And my favorite, 4K 120 uncropped. Check out this smooth slow motion action. I love the video from this camera. Now, one of the biggest things on my wish list, which I mentioned to Canon people on multiple occasions, was the frustration of needing to go into the menus to turn on pre-capture and to turn it off again. If pre-capture is new to you, it's when the camera can record up to a half a second of photos, 20 in this camera's case, internally, and keep overriding it until when you hit the shutter button, it records the 20 photos taken before you hit the shutter onto your memory card and keeps recording and storing and taking photos as you keep the shutter button down. This is a great feature when you're waiting for something unexpected to happen, but you do expect it to happen. So you turned it on, which will show on the screen, then half press the shutter button, which will start saving the 20 exposures, continuously overriding them and showing the pre-indicator to let you know that you're recording. This is a great feature, like in this scenario, where I'm waiting for a bird to take off. When it does take off, I fully depress the shutter button and the camera saves photos from before I actually hit the shutter button, allowing me to get every shot as it left its perch. And does it track well? Sure does. Here's another example. But my pet peeve was the hassle of turning it on and off. You needed to go into the menus to do it. And Canon listened. They assigned it to be programmable to a button. Me, I set it to the multi-function button close to the shutter button. So I just turned it on, wait for the action, hit the shutter, and then turned it off with one press. Then I go through the pics later to see what I captured. This camera with a great 32 megapixels, which is a sweet spot for many, top features like pre-capture, an amazing autofocus system, and super customizability is bound to be a great success and used in many genres. I can easily recommend it as one of the best all-around do-everything cameras that I've ever used. And by the way, my new Signature Edition jacket by Hochland is ready for immediate shipping starting this week. This 7-in-1 Parker Pro photographer's jacket has 3 layers you can mix and match for any weather, and has great features for photographers, like dedicated pockets for batteries and memory cards, and even a built-in pocket for your lens cloth. Use my special custom code SIMON10 for 10% off. I hope you enjoyed my video and my hands-on look of the new Canon R6 Mark III. And I hope that you can go up soon to get your own unique and amazing photos. I know you can do it.